You ever stop and think about what it actually takes to feed, oh, I don't know, over 1 billion people every single day? It's got to be one of the biggest challenges on the entire planet, right? Well, today, that's exactly what we're diving into. We're going to look at the amazing story of how we've pulled it off so far, some of the, let's say, hiccups we've created along the way, and the really smart science that's going to secure our food for the future.
All right, so here's the game plan. First up, we're going to start with the absolute basics. Why do we even need food? Then we'll get into the huge problem of feeding 1 billion people. After that, we'll check out some of our big wins in the past, we call them revolutions, and maybe the not-so-great side effects. And finally, we'll see how we can use science to farm smarter from here on out.
Okay, so this seems like a super simple question, doesn't it? Why do we need food? But honestly, the answer is kind of the engine for, well, for everything. See, food isn't just about not feeling hungry. It's about what that food is actually doing once it's inside you.
So think about your body like a really complex, high-tech machine. Food is what gives it everything it needs to run. You've got your carbohydrates, that's your main fuel, your energy. Then you have proteins, which are like the building blocks for your muscles and for fixing things up. Fats, super important for your brain and cells. And then there are vitamins and minerals. Think of those as the oil that keeps all the internal gears running smoothly. You take away any part of that, and our bodies just can't grow, develop, or stay healthy. Simple as that.
Okay, so we've established we all need that stuff to live. Now, try to imagine providing all of that for over 1 billion people. Yeah, this is where the challenge just gets massive, especially for a country like India. We are literally talking about a 1 billion-person problem.
Just look at that number. It's kind of hard to even wrap your head around, isn't it? We're talking over 1 billion people in India, and that number is still going up. So this isn't a problem we solved just once. It's a moving target. Every single year, the demand for food gets bigger and bigger, which, you can imagine, puts us in a really tight spot.
And this right here really shows the squeeze we're in. On one side, you've got food demand, and it's just climbing and climbing. But on the other side, you have farmland, and, well, it's not getting any bigger. We can't just magically create more land. So what's the plan? What do we do?
Well, it pretty much leaves us with just one option. If we can't build our farms out, we have to grow up, We've got to squeeze more food out of every single square foot of land we already have. To put it simply, we need to get a lot more efficient.
Now, here's the good news. This isn't the first time we've stared down this kind of problem. In the past, India has actually pulled off some absolutely incredible things that totally changed the game when it comes to food. We call them our agricultural revolutions. First up, you had the Green Revolution, and this was all about our main food grains, think wheat and rice. Scientists cooked up these amazing new high-yield varieties, and farmers started using more modern techniques. And the result? It was a massive, game-changing explosion in production that really helped feed the whole nation. And basically, what the Green Revolution did for grains, the White Revolution did for milk. By getting smarter with management and setting up these cooperative dairy farms, we totally transformed the industry. It made milk way more available and accessible for millions and millions of people all across India. So these revolutions were massive successes, no doubt about it. But you know how it goes. There's almost always a catch. This amazing progress, it came with a kind of hidden price tag, and that led to some pretty serious consequences that nobody really saw coming. So picture this. While we were all celebrating having all this extra food, this really important question started bubbling up. What was all this super intensive farming doing to our environment? Was there a cost we weren't seeing? And the answer sadly was a big yes. To get those amazing crop yields, we had to use a ton more water, a lot more chemical fertilizers, and way more pesticides. And all of that put a huge strain on our natural resources. It started damaging the soil, polluting the water, and it was threatening the entire environmental balance that we, kind of need to survive. And that brings us right to the challenge we're facing today. We've learned a tough lesson. We can't just keep focusing on more. We have to figure out how to produce enough food while also protecting our planet. They have to go hand in hand. And this is where the whole idea of farming for the future comes into play.
The big key word for this whole new approach is sustainability. Here's an easy way to think about it. It's like a bank account with nature. We can't just keep taking stuff out, withdrawing resources without putting anything back in. Sustainable farming is all about using our resources smartly, so we can get what we need today, but also make sure that our kids and their kids will be able to get what they need too.
So why does this matter so much? I mean, really, what are the long-term consequences if we just don't farm sustainably?
Well, it's tied directly to another really big idea, food security. See, real food security isn't just about having warehouses full of food somewhere in the country. It's actually a two-part deal. First, you need food availability, and second, people have to have access to it.
Let me break it down. Availability just means the food is there, right? The shelves at the market are full. But access means you actually have the money in your pocket to buy the food on those shelves. If you're missing either one of those, you don't really have food security.
So how do we fix that access part? Well, a huge piece of the puzzle is making sure farmers can actually make a stable living. And that's where something called mixed farming comes in. It's a great strategy. Instead of just growing crops, farmers also raise livestock. That way, they're not putting all their eggs in one basket, you know? If a bad storm wipes out their crops, they still have their animals to provide income. It's like a built-in safety net.
And then there's integrated farming, which takes that idea even further. It's all about creating these little mini ecosystems right on the farm. For example, you could grow rice and raise fish in the very same field. The fish eat the pests that might hurt the rice, and their waste, well, it's a perfect natural fertilizer for the crop. It's this brilliant, self-sustaining loop where nothing gets wasted, and it boosts food production and the farmer's income. It's a win-win.
Okay, so how do we make all this happen? Higher efficiency, real sustainability, food security for everybody. Where do we even start? Well, it turns out all roads pretty much lead to one place, the science of improvement.
And this quote really nails it. The big, fundamental question we have to answer is this one right here. How do we use science to increase the yields of our crops and our livestock?
And that's what this entire chapter is really about. It's about the scientific management practices we can use to answer that exact question. We're talking about a whole cycle of smart thinking, from improving crops to be tougher and more productive, to carefully managing our soil to keep it healthy, and finding smarter ways to protect our plants from all the pests and diseases out there.
So I'm going to leave you with this final, really important question to think about. We pulled off a green revolution once before, which was amazing. Now, we kind of need a second one. But this time, the challenge is way bigger. We have to boost our food production without wrecking nature in the process. So, can we do it? Honestly, that's the great challenge for our generation to solve.